Welcome, L127 here. So, last time in our RAFT playthrough, uh, after started setting up the collection nets, we have gone through two large islands and got some resources, some special ones, some of the unique creatures out there, and some of the unique food resources, which are mainly used in the cooking pot that I may not be able to talk about in this part. Else, we start at this island, but it seems that this island that I have to go to this island, I'm not sure. Maybe not. But I'm going to take some food here, and then I'm going to work on today's objective, which is going to be setting up the collection nets. So the first problem is that we don't really have much resources available. And to gain more resources, we need collection nets. To get the collection nets, then we need to set up some resources. So I'm going to leave this island right away and then start doing the collection that I want to set for. Yeah, so the first thing is that my inventory needs to be expanded. I need to smell some of these metal ingots to make the needs for the fortification for the nets, as the nets needs to be reinforced to make sure they don't get attacked by the shark, as they are quite expensive to make. So the next thing is that I need to start to work on making the more important thing for this part is to try to make a receiver and antenna setup, which will require us to actually smell carbon. Alright, so I believe I have some scrap to steal. So I'm gonna make some nails. Going to cook some of these. Really. So currently, that we are kind of collecting things from using the net, but the coverage isn't so significant at the moment that most of the resources will just flow away. To make most of this collection, that I need to extend the collection range, which needs a lot of ponies, for the fact that it needs a lot of ropes. So the first thing is that I'm going to extend the area, the coverage, and then we need to fortify. Since to want to attack us. It was down, So I was able to get some shark meat. Don't make that mistake again. Fortify a piece that we don't want to fortify now, and then we'll still don't need it. I will fortify all pieces if possible, but not now because it's actually quite expensive to set that up. What I can do is that to extend the range, extend the section here. I don't have planks now. Most of them have been put into the net and many sources actually. There are many things that uses the planks. I have a metal axe, which I can use to chop trees. So I'm gonna chop trees. There's an island next in front. So I would like to collect some. I would like to chop some trees off and get some resources. All it matters is the coverage that I can potentially gain for the resources. I will have to shift left, which is a little bit difficult because of the currents. And my hook just broke. So I don't make another one. We'll try to get to that island though, because I need some resources from the islands. I was able to get a metal spear from a loot box, so I didn't craft this. I just craft one, and I got this new one. So it was a bit of a metal ingot saving, but the most important part is it will actually make a. I am considering making a stationary anchor. But for now, that we are going to go with this basic cheap anchor that is one-time use. destroyed. So the first part is to actually save my inventory space because inventory space is so precious. Yeah, so I will need to make a new. I don't have things, so that's a mess. I have eggs, but that's it. And I also need a boat, so I'm going to go there and chop some trees. So I can make a new. So our current mission is to get some trees for planks. And there's a third horseman. It's almost nighttime, so I should try to actually leave maybe, but I don't plan to mine stone because stone isn't that useful. I will have to do some mining for sure though. I got some planks, which I can still continue smelting stuff. So I'm going to smelt some copper. And then I'm going to put my hammer back. And just do some and have some sleep. And then I can get some more copper. Smelted. Alright, so the next one is I have this mango. Going to eat that. And then we're going to do some mining session. There is a shark, so I need to be careful. Because get on and we check the other side first, maybe. Well, I will have to mine some metal and copper as well. For reinforcing the thing and setting up the receiver. So it comes to the price that I need to actually get some copper mined. Which I did have some copper from the previous part. But I still need quite a bit of metal, so I will also mine that as well. We'll try to get as much away from the shark. And then I try to kill the shark for some grace period. I don't have planks, so I have to get out of this place. I have to leave this island as soon as possible. I'm really short on planks. That's not good at all. Another decor package. What is going to be? An open book. Where is it decor? So it's useful. And I think it uses palm leaves, so that's even worse because we are also shooting palm leaves. That palm leaf is used, it's going to be reserved for palm leaves are to be reserved for the net. is done again. Time to finish the mining session. I have to do it as soon as possible because I don't get much grace periods. So I better finish off this mining session and then move on. Also because I am really short on planks. I got hit twice. That's quite a bit of damage as well. I think I can just start this now. I don't plan to mine the stone because I will have enough stone. Or I think I will have enough stone that I shouldn't need to actually mine stone. Considering when I started using stationary anchors, that I will actually use even less stone. Then the stone is only going to be used for animal nets. So I may want to actually mine some stone because I need those for animal nets. I'll just leave those for now though, because I actually don't need that much stone. As I try to mine for some metal and copper, but I also extremely short on planks. I can't really smelt them now, so I will have to move on now. Also, I was against the current when trying to get to this island, so let's go back to the current and continue gathering resources. Alright, so I got some more shark meat, which I can use. I can put some of this shark meat. I was able to get some copper smelted. So let's research the copper. So the copper research that we get access to simple battery, which is going to be used later, and the circuit board ingredients. So yeah, the copper is only used in these things. It's also used in the upgrade version of a battery. There is an upgrade version of the battery, but let's not talk about that. It's relatively late game, so I will leave that for now. But it's used mainly in the circuit board or other things. So let's make a circuit board. So to make a circuit board, you need some plastic, you need a fine glue as well, and then we will be able to make a circuit board. And we also need to research the circuit board. Then we can access antenna and the receiver. These are the two things that we need. In addition, we also get access to sprinkler and juicer. Then we can research empty bottle and seaweed to get some other things. We can also research dirt, which I'm going to do now. Now we get access to the grass plot, which is going to be needed for feeding animals. And we can also research batteries, but let's not research batteries for now. As researching batteries, we don't really get any benefits now, so. The next thing is that I'm gonna smell more copper, and then I was really against the current. Let's just follow the current. I wouldn't like to do this. I think most of the collection is rendered useless here. So I would like to try to unlock some additional tech. In order to do that, I will need to progress in the story. So to get access to the story, I will need to actually set up the receiver. So before I can actually set up a receiver, we will need to do something. And what else I can do some research on? Let's say the seaweed. I have quite a bit of seaweed. I should research the seaweed, which allows us to get access to flippers, increases the swimming speed, which can be useful in later parts of the game and some deeper parts of the ocean. Now I am extremely short on planks, so that I should focus on catching the resources. While trying to get the copper smelters. But we need 5 circuit boards, so we need 10, and we additionally need 1 more for the batteries. That's 11. That we need 11 of these. I was able to get some plastic, but what I really shows on is the planks, so I don't think this will have much of a, but can be useful. Can be a useful boost. One is planning to make even foundations. Plants can be chopped from trees, but that's one source. But planks is basically from the flotsam. And then those the counties. Later on, there you can grow trees, which I can actually make a crop pot. This is a large crop pot that you can use this crop pot to actually plant trees. And the trees, as I have to talk about a new mechanic about plantation in this game. Is that the seagulls will attack plants, but they will not attack trees. So they will eat up the plants, like you can plant this raw potato. They will potentially eat that down if they are growing, not being harvested. They are grown, they are not being harvested. They can be eaten by the seagulls. There are up to 2. Possible for this. There are up to 2. They can be up to 2 simultaneously, hovering above the sky, ready for development plans. So that's one thing to be noticed because they can be a bit annoying. But I currently don't have any crop plots. That I actually don't think I need crop plots. Just eating those meals from the enemies, the threats, then I think I'm good. And it's nighttime, I would like to sleep right away. Because I would like to try to get the video as bright as possible, so I would like to try to get as much of daytime appearance for this instead of actually doing I actually doing more things at night time. I mean, I can make lamps. I can always make lamps to actually light up the area. So this doesn't get too dark. This doesn't get too dark. Oh okay. I thought I throw those shovels. That would be very bad. Else. I was able to get some more planks, so it was a bit nicer to have these. But later on that I will have to set up for the I don't have nails, so I'm going to put my nails and can't put this. There's a reason that I have to set something like this. I will talk about that later. But now it's currently alright. We don't have to worry about that too much. But I would like to have an elevator floor soon for this for the receiver. We will need an elevation for this next part, receiver part. So I would like to have some floor, increased floor. And I would like to try to have planes for the needs of every single burning machine, really. Or like any building that needs to smell things like smell things, to cook things. Currently don't need to really cook. And I don't need to use planks for purifying water, which is nice. But I just completely skipped the simple version of the purifier, so I was able to directly purify water without any additional resource costs. So I was able to get basically free purified water, which is nice. But the water can get a bit better because there will be plants that also needs water, and then you definitely do not want to like try to purify every single bit of water by yourself. In later part of the game, that you will get access to a more automated version of the purifier that you will be able to purify water automatically. And there's going to be fluid logistics for water and another type of fluid which I do not want to talk about because we're not there yet. So I will talk about the water because the water is basically that you will need to drink water to live in this game because some games doesn't have such mechanic. I will smell one more piece of copper, and then I will smell some seaweed. And then we're going to try to elevate the floor again. There's another large island, but I'm not really interested in actually getting to this large island. So you might wonder why I did this. We'll talk about this later. I need to eat some things because I'm hungry, and then we'll need to smell some more fine goo. This is technically possible. Well, based on the game based on the mechanics of the building, this is possible. I would like to leave this. I would like to ignore this island because I want to push for the story. Story islands also give some resources which can be useful, so I would like to get to story as soon as possible. So I got some fine goo. Alright. So I got 11 copper ingots. I don't know if I have plastic. I should have enough plastic. Alright. So the first thing is that we need to make 5 circuit boards. Now we have 5 circuit boards, and then we need to make a simple battery which needs scrap, and then the shark is attacking. So let's not that happen, and repel it for now. Anyways, so the first mission is that this is really getting a bit difficult to engage with, but that's what's for that for now. Anyway, so the first mission, the first thing is that we need a receiver which needs hinge, which I do have hinge, so now I have a receiver. So this is a receiver that is going to be needed for the mission, for the progression. So one of the things that you need is a simple battery. So the first thing is that when you try to place the receiver on the base floor, you will need to use a battery to power the receiver. Then if you place this on the ground floor, which is the foundation floor, this is what you will receive. Is that it says that you will need a higher altitude to actually set this up and running. So let's go say like this high, and then you set up you power it again, and then you will receive the warning that you will need 3 antenna to actually get this up and working. So first let me collect some more planes because I am still choosing planes, so I would like to get that set up. So to make an antenna, that we need scrap circuit boards and bolts. We need 3 of those, and I just have 3 of those. So the antenna cannot be placed too close to the thing. If I can demonstrate this, cannot be set too close to the thing, and cannot be set too far from the receiver. Must be a certain distance between the receiver and the antenna, and there is also a distance requirement between the antenna. They cannot be set too close between each other. So here I'm going to be placing the 3 antenna, and then after if it's successfully set up, this is what you will receive. You will be able to see that there's a green dot. There are green dots. Green dots usually represent large islands. That they are going to have trading posts thing, which is basically the building that you have seen in the last part. Those buildings that plays music. And then there's a special blue dot, which is the destination that we need to go to. That if you look up into the, if you have look up into the notes, the book, the notebook here, is that you press T to get access to this notebook. But you might also see that there is a message up right that says that there is a new note added. Well, that's the destination here that got added, which is this radio tower, and I have not mentioned this entire this whole book thing. So in the past parts. So what is this book about? It's basically a notebook. So this will be used to store the notes that you will be able to find in the story islands, which is one of which is going to be the radio tower. This is the first place you will be able to get access to. And did you see this symbol? This said the Forward Scout symbol. Do you recognize this symbol? So it's one of the symbols. It's the symbol that with a flag. So in the last part, I got a flag. I got to be able to grab a flag with this symbol. So it's that symbol. So this is a Forward Scout symbol that will represent that was close, 15, yeah, or else. So our next step is going to actually get access to this new island. Following this coordinates, it's automatically set for you. While for field per story islands, you will have to set this yourself, which you have to switch numbers and then do the number to change the number. It can be a bit difficult to control this, so I will talk about how you're going to actually control this thing. And there are many things that will require to press some buttons that are close to each other. I would suggest using to actually pan over the buttons instead of actually trying to move, because it's easier to actually arrange the position by panning instead of actually moving yourself. Anyways, we are quite a bit distance away from this destination, so we're just going to be slowly but surely collecting resources for now. That I should be able to get there then. Then we will be able to start our very first part of the story, which is going to be the radio tower. So I was able to get some more palm leaves, and then we're going to try to make more nets. Because nets are good. Nets can help me collect stuff. I don't have metal ingots on me. I better reinforce this before it gets too late. And I'm thirsty, and then it will be bad. Anyways, now we got some resources, which is nice, but I also get access to some more. I also get to get some more planes, so it's gonna be a distance. It's gonna be a while before I actually get to the interesting parts. For now, I would like to see if I can do anything that could help me progress in the net building. So the first thing is I need a lot of planks. So I can show some planks. So I definitely going to be picking up planks. So. And barrels also have transfer movement and planks, so that's also nice. So. And we have achieved the metal lantern. This is a type of lantern I'm most likely going to be heavily using. Unfortunately, it's going to be using glass, which is extremely difficult to set up because this is like one of the rare cases from decoration package that requires very advanced stuff compared to most of the things which only requires frozen resources. This needs glass, so it can be a bit tricky to get this one done, built. It needs 6 scrap, so it's also very expensive in scrap. I'm not sure if I have glass. I just have a single piece of glass, so let's just make one lantern. So this is a metal lantern, so it needs 6 scrap and 1 glass. So it's a very expensive. It's a very expensive way to light up your house, but I also like to look at it. I also like the look of this one instead of the basic version. Basic lantern. I don't like this basic lantern. It's like this one looks better. You could always use the basic lantern. It also costs less resources to make. Specifically in scrap, 4 scrap is what it needs. Compared to 6, which is really expensive. But then I will be able to walk in nighttime, so that will be very nice. And I'm hungry again, and that was very bad because getting hungry is never good thing. And I feel like I should make a new storage, so for preparation for the next for the story islands, because I'm expected to get some stuff in the story islands. Quite a bit of stuff in story islands, and you can also revisit those story islands for resources, as some things on the story islands will actually respawn. This is not only one time. Of like you explore the story island and then that's it. You can actually revisit those story islands to gain resources, which I'm most likely going to be after. But the next thing is that I'm going to further extend my collection nets in the Empire. That we're going to get some collection nets. So throughout the story islands, there will be nodes that you can pick up to actually get to know more about the story of this game. And there are 5 nodes that we have to find in this very first story island. One of which is the coordinates to the next destination. So the first thing is that I'm going to get some more nails, and then I can make some collection nets. I don't have plastic on me. That's not nice. So I would like to progress for this first, because then I will then later be able to get to one thing I really would like to get for this kind of collection net design. You might already know what I'm looking for. It's still quite a bit away, and I feel like I should redirect this a bit further in that direction. Now we are slowly but surely setting up more collection nets. I should possibly smell some metal on the way. What's that? It's about 600, and there's a large island that I'm not interested in large islands at the moment. But we have explored some in the last part, but I don't want to do the same thing for this part because that makes the game not so interesting. So I would like to and spell better. Maybe I should consider the more aggressive option towards this shock, so I can actually get some additional shock moves where I can satisfy my hunger. Because I can't be poking shock maze. Fortifying more and more of these collection nets. You might wonder why I have to do it this way. It's because I cannot place collection next to just collection nets. I have to place a collection net. So I have to put the foundation first, then I can place the collection nets. For the collection nets, the collection nets can stay next to collection nets once the foundation is broken down or like chopped off. Then they can still stay there. It's a 400 away now. I'm going to change the direction by bit. I feel like we are really getting close to our destination. I feel like it's about to spawn, and it should be visible anytime soon. You might have seen the thing now, so yes. So that is the very first destination we have to go to for this part. For the story. So the first thing is that we need to set some anchor. It may have been a waste for me to keep using this basic anchor. But I just don't have the time to set up for a stationary one because I am not really the best shape for the foundations now. I will just leave the basic foundation or like the basic anchor the one-time use anchor for the current moment. It should be not so likely to shouldn't be so likely to be attacked. Now we have access to the, now we have seen this new location. Now we will get access to some useful stuff that we can potentially get for this for our raft. So in every single in every story island that you can find on your that you can find their coordinates on the notebook. Those places will have blueprints that you can unlock new technologies for. So there are 2 blueprints that you can get from this this very first story island. But it's kind of a bit dark that I would like to. Let me lay down and go to the morning. Alright. So here we go. Our very first destination. Actually, nice. Our very first destination is this radio tower. So now we have to get to this radio tower and then anchor at it. So the first thing is that I need to get close to this island, to this building, and then we stop with all the anchor, and then we can start exploring this place. So there will be story, there will be the notes around the places, so to be able to get these notes and the blueprints and many other unique stuff that they may be available in the later notes, in the later part of the story island. In the later story islands, there can be some unique stuff, so I'm going to follow the entry now. And then here it is, the landing. So the first thing is I would like to clean up the inventory because there can be excess stuff that I actually don't need. So I'm gonna be keeping the food and the water. Then we can start exploring this area. So the first thing is there is some collectibles like the scrap pieces that you can potentially collect. So the first thing is that we're going to go deep into the water, and you will potentially be able to see this briefcase, which is a note that we pick up this note, and there's going to be
We stopped for the night.
There's going to be some
Climbed the tower.
voice
Radio still works apparently.
for these
It'll
notes.
be 2 weeks before we reach Celine, with the teams not responding. You might say things are a bit tense. The other facilities are underwater, so if Celine is lost, we've got nothing. And now, Sparrow's not talking to either of us. I really hope we're not the last hope for humanity.
So here you can also get some recipes from these loot boxes, like the loot boxes from the abandoned raft. So I just get another metal spear, and here it comes with quite a bit of resources. I want to save first. To make things, to make sure that you don't lose progress, make sure you save every time. Like you do something.
January. It's been weeks. Just me and Owl here now, stuck on this platform. Sparrow took the boat. I can't figure out why. Everything is just so secretive. I mean, I don't even know their real names. I only know the team at Celine got a prototype working and they needed more people. We were supposed to be those people. And together we would find a way out of this mess. Somehow. Owl's yelling up in the tower. Or maybe the radio picked up something. Is it you, Sparrow?
So here it is this symbol again. Is the full scale symbol that you have seen on the flag and on the very first page of the notebook. And what is this? It's a headlight blueprint. So once you get the blueprint, you actually throw this away, so you can actually still research the headlights. So you will have to research the new technologies at the research table. And
Owl's radio notes. 22nd of December. Distress call received. Balboa Island. 9th of January. Koku won't accept facts. 2nd of February. Gunshots in the distance. Tangaroa City. 14th of February. Sparrow's calm. At Celine. 6th of March. Another distress call. Varuna Point. Missing child. 16th of April. Rafters dreaming of utopia. Foolish hope.
February. We've picked up a lot of signals. Maybe someone will come and help us. We're not starving. Yet. The reactor at Celine might be the only chance we have against this endless ocean. You knew it, Sparrow. Owl thinks you betrayed us, but you must have had a good reason for leaving us here. I hope you make it to Celine. I hope you finish the reactor. For all of us.
And so here's the first four notes. You can always replay this notes, and some notes doesn't have the words, and it's actually giving hints for some of the puzzles in the later part of the story. There will be some puzzles which you will need to follow the notes, follow some of the notes which are going to be the clues for those puzzles. So those wouldn't have the replay, and they can be maps, and they can be some sort of symbols, which you will then be able to review on your notebook. That's basically it. So here is an unlockable character, so you first have to talk to this character. This is Tala. So
Hey, a friendly face! Wondering how I ended up here? Long story. Really, really long story. Anyway, nice raft. If you need any repairs done, let me know. I've sort of ended up as a maritime expert, mainly due to the world sinking. Awesome. Let's head out.
So I already have unlocked the characters, so and then after talking to the unlockable characters, then will becomes this glowing light, and then you can replay the scene basically. So it's more of a simulation, Anyway, so there is another recipe or like another blueprint available. This is the recycler. So I have mentioned that the house in the large islands that play music, those are trading posts, and the recycler. I will talk about those recyclers. So you see here, it says combine basic resources into trading post cards. So what those houses are actually trading posts. And here is going to be a note that you can pick up, which marks off the destination to the next area. So this is going to be Fasagatan, and it's going to be a key place for me to get to some of the most important texts that I feel like I'm going to actually get to be able to polish my RAFT a bit better for collection nests, and there will be some very useful stuff. And we did get some resources, so that's why I have the going. The shot is almost down again, so I may be able to actually try to take down the shot now. Before proceeding though, I feel like I should be on the safe side and my half-boats. Make another scrapbook because there is also some resources down here that I can potentially collect. But it's not so easy to collect those because there is the shaft nearby. So the first thing is I need to be able to, and it's dead. Oh well, that ended up quickly. So I would like to get diving set for this because it's relatively annoying to actually traverse through this area. I could have gained some resources here, so I will actually try to get some of these resources under the water. And then we have to move on because story is this first part is relatively short. So the radio tower, I will refill the notes. So you might also notice one thing that has been mentioned is the Celine, which is a relatively lagging location you can access to, but it's relatively lagging, so I wouldn't mention more of these now. It's relatively lagging. It's also actually kind of tricky to get away with. So I would like to talk about these later. For now, let's just head towards the next destination. I may stop at the next destination because it's already an hour for this recording, so I may also end on the way towards this next island, this next story island, so I can have some time to set up for the next parts. Yes, I don't plan to get the. There is some scrap I would like to get because scrap is one of the heavy bottlenecks I have encountered in the relatively late game RAFT making, especially when you're starting actually to do some of the RAFT makeovers that you're going to have a lot of demand on scrap. I'm not even joking that you're going to need at least 10,000 of those. Anyways, we are mostly good with this place. It's time to leave for the next destination. So to set up for this next destination, you will have to set the new code that is available from your notebook. Right? You found the key, the very important note here. This is the important this is the coordinate node that is required to get to in order to get to the next story island. So this you can ignore all the other nodes, but not this one, as this node is going to be the key node. It's going to be the key node to get access to the next story island, and it's also different for every single save file. So yeah. Anyway, so we need to settle this code, which is 2204. So we have to tweak the numbers like this, and then we get to exit. We get to see the next destination, which is here. So the marked blue dot, which has an additional mark, is going to be the targeted destination, and the blue dot is going to be simply a story island. So let's go towards this next destination. As we have to move on from this story to push forward for the story. I would like to smell some more metal. Anyways, so the next story location is going to be a little bit more difficult. It's going to be having enemies, so I would suggest bringing a weapon. If you can do the story. You can do this story island without the weapon. Well, you can actually do most of the story islands without the weapon. It's just if you want to be able to, if you are interested in those. Those things. If you're going to loot those enemies, then you do it. You can always do it. For now, we are slowly pushing forward for. I could potentially go for another. So let's. And the shock respawn. Oh, it doesn't hurt too much for the shock to respawn. It needs more food sources, but it can be a bit tricky to deal with the shock in some really crowded area or in dark places. Speaking of dark places, that we will need to start to work on actually getting some of the technologies we can potentially get. One of which is the headlights. I will possibly talk about the recycler and the trading post in the next podcast. Not now, because I supposed to end this class sooner, as I wish to get this to be in 1 hour, but currently I am good. I will also suggest using a backpack, but I will be working on the backpack after this second story island. Not now, because I would like to get to access the very key tech that I could potentially get from the second story island with a sacred tome. Yeah, it has been really crumbled, but it gets a bit better when I settle with the Muslims. We are actually getting more and more resources over time. Now we are having a bit better time with the resource situations. So we're getting more and more planes. We're getting more and more points that we can set up more and more nets. That we're going to be slowly, partially branching out the nets that I'm actually going to need. But yeah, that we are slowly but surely setting up for the nets. So the nets is going to be branching out for 20, very strictly, it's going to be 28 tiles of nets from the total width. So for each side is going to be 13 nets, and then here is going to be 2 nets in front of this. So currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we still need 6 on each side. And then we can focus on the center. We're about halfway of the net, so yeah, it's still quite a bit away. But I would like to put focus on this next story island, and this next story island, it appears to have a reset, so it's going to be a bit southward, or like downwards, the direction of the direction of the receiver. Or like backwards. It's about 1800, so it's a bit distance away from that. So I may have to end the part before actually getting there. I will record for a few more minutes. So the current direction is also about there. It's also around there, so good. Well, now I feel like I'm going to focus on actually getting the palm leaves, and then continue building the nets. Then just waiting here, idle, because it's another idle game. I do recognize this world. Yes, it was from Shapes, and Shapes is also another idle game. Like in factory games, that none of these games are really idle, so that you need to really put focus on building stuff instead of just actually trying to idle. But later on, when I feel good with the collection nest, that I'm actually going to be idling. So quite a lot actually. But I feel like then I have the capability to actually go idle and collect the resources automatically, then I get the capability to do things idle. So, but before that, I will have to really put focus on building the RAFT, building the nets. So it's not an easy task for sure. And then another problem is I will need to really put focus on getting the we put focus on getting the resources. But we are getting more and more resources for sure. That we know our current bottleneck is return to what it's supposed to be, which is is going to be the wood. That's what would have expected to be lacking for now. So yeah, it does also cause quite a bit of planks, but most you're expected to get more of the nets. And then the planks and then the leads. So, anyways, so I'm about to end this part for now. So if you want to follow the series, consider subscribing and turn off the notifications. And I will see you in the next part. Thanks for watching.